All right, Krystal, what are you taking a look at?
Well, guys, remember how Mayor Pete, who is now the Secretary of the Department of Transportation, remember how he was super upset about how the airlines were canceling all these flights and they didn't have proper staffing, and he sat them down for a Zoom call to give them the business and tell them he was going to be watching over July 4th weekend and that they better deliver or else he might do something unspecified. And then, of course, they immediately, like the very next day, canceled his flight and he had to drive from DC to New York. Well, you might have noticed the July 4th weekend happened. And let's go ahead and put this element up on the screen. There's Pete. Yes, told them to step up their game. Let's put the next one up. Holiday travel was a complete and utter disaster over the July 4th weekend. Surprise, surprise. You had 464 flights completely canceled. You had more than 6,600 delayed. That was just in the first couple days of the holiday weekend. So the overall numbers might be even worse. So you would think that now that we have the proof, right? He said, okay, you guys got to deliver. I'm going to be watching closely. All right, the proof is in. It was a disaster. You even had Delta so desperate to get people off their flights that they offered passengers $10,000 to get off one of their flights. So what is Mayor Pete's response? Man who is in charge of the department most responsible for holding these airlines to account. Weird consumer tips. Put Pete's tweet up on the screen here. Rather than actually using his power to do something, instead he's giving consumers tips on what to do if their flight is canceled. He says sometimes an airline will offer you points or miles as compensation, but you're entitled to a cash refund when your flight is canceled. When deciding whether to accept miles, it's helpful to know their value, which varies, but often is estimated at 1 to 1.5 cents per mile. He then just goes through the whole calculation saga that he used to figure out whether he should accept the miles or accept like the cash when his flight was canceled. And I think Sirota had the perfect response to this. Put this last piece up on the screen. He said, dude, you are not a travel agent or an airline consultant. You are a regulator. Your job is to use the power you have to crack down on airlines when they abuse consumers. Read and start actually doing something. And he links to the article that we've covered in the past that gives, some concrete steps that he could take to try to force these airlines to, not fly more, not book more flights than they're actually capable of flying. So Sagar, yet another disaster. And really the point here is that there's this complete feigned helplessness on the part of liberals that Pete is very much a part of here.
Yeah, I'm like,
cable news is ripping us apart, dividing the country, making it impossible to function as a society, and making it impossible to know just what is true and what is false. But the good news is they are failing and they know it.
That is why we're building something new, a new mainstream, a healthier one, something more trustworthy, something that we are going to need in one of the most pivotal times in American history. We are building up here for the midterms, for the upcoming presidential election, but we need your help. So if you can help us out by becoming a premium member today at breakingpoints.com, we're trying to change America for the better and the entire world.
So what are you waiting for, guys? Go to breakingpoints.com and sign up and help us build a new mainstream.